Hi, welcome to our presentation. Today we'll be talking about Russian petroleum, its current situation, its strengths, its weaknesses, its threats, and its future opportunities. Hi, I'm Justin, and today I'll be talking about Russia's current petroleum situation. I'll be talking about 5 main topics today. The first is Russia's current involvement in their ongoing war with Ukraine. It has hurt its outlook on the whole world, and it's affected many parts of their oil production and economics. Even with the bad outlook, they still stand at third in the world in terms of production, with about 10.2 million barrels produced daily. The slight caused by American and Western sanctions have been trying to get picked up by Russia's Eastern allies, but not all loss can be covered by only them. Sanctions have caused Russia to lower their price per barrel, all the way down to a reported $47.60 per barrel, which has caused a large decrease in their income revenue, but still exporting just as much with little decline but strong decline in income when it comes to exporting that oil. Due to sanctions, Russia's technology in their oil field does not look good for the future. This is causing investors to pull money out of Russian oil and is hurting their economy even more. Russia's future is in danger, with no outcome near with this ongoing war.
Okay, now for the strengths of Russia. So Russia has massive proven reserves. It's home to the largest natural gas reserves in the world and some of the largest oil reserves. So here at the top right, we can see those outlined in purple, and then we even have some of the major oil and gas fields labeled. Also, Russia's geographic location in between Europe and Asia allows Russia to easily access those markets, as well as reserves in the Arctic Circle. That is extremely crucial for Russia and Russia's oil future. Russia is able to access these markets with an extensive pipeline network. It's one of the world's most complex and far-reaching pipeline systems. This is especially helpful with the sanctions put on Russia by the EU. So here at the bottom, we can see some of these oil and gas pipelines and even proposed pipelines. Other strengths, they have vertically integrated energy companies with strong government backing, low production costs, and the ability to undertake complex projects. And Russia has a large global market influence. It is a member of OPEC+, is one of the top 3 oil producers in the world. It has the largest natural gas exporter. These all give Russia a major influence on global energy prices and supply and leverage over importing countries. So here at the top, we see that Russia stacks up pretty well against Saudi Arabia, even as a non-OPEC participant. And then down at the bottom, it just shows that Russia comes in at third on producing oil behind the U.S. and Saudi Arabia with about 10.75 million barrels a day.
Okay, so for weaknesses, the first major aspect is declining production at mature fields. Western Siberia oil fields are declining, and sanctions block access to important tools. Without advanced technology, Russia exports more crude oil instead of refined products, which in turn earns them less profits. The second aspect is overdependence on external demand. Rising domestic energy use pushes Russia to sell more oil abroad, but China and India dominate as buyers, and they are demanding lower prices. Fuel prices inside Russia have also jumped 40 to 50%, creating public warnings and exposing market instability. The third aspect is sanctions and technology dependence. Russia's energy sector relies on foreign tech for advanced drilling, but sanctions cut off access. Without the advanced tool, fields decline and substitutes fall, leaving the sector stagnant. Lastly, domestic price sensitivity. Drone strikes damaged over half of Russia's major refineries, ruining their supply. About 38% of refining capacity was lost, creating a fuel crisis, and the irregularity exposed weaknesses in Russia's energy sector, straining households, businesses, and profits.
Russia's geopolitical isolation after 2022 invasion of Ukraine has pushed it into an energy relationship where China now holds significant leverage. When Europe cut its dependence on Russian oil and gas, Russia rapidly redirected its exports towards Asia, especially China. According to the U.S. Energy Information Administration, by 2024, more than half of Russians' export oil were going to Asia, and China quickly became Russia's largest single buyer. But this shift created an unequal partnership. Research from the Swedish Institution of International Affairs shows that while China doubled its shares of Russia energy imports, Russia's importance in China's energy portfolio rose only slightly. That means China gets more influence while Russia becomes more dependent. This imbalance is clear in major projects like the Power of Siberia 2 pipelines. China has been able to negotiate favorable prices because Russia has fewer alternatives and needs stable buyers. Beyond oil and gas, China is also involved in Russia's attempts to expand into green minerals, like joint ventures with Rosatom to develop lithium projects. Russia and renewable energy. When it comes to renewable energy, Russia is significantly behind the global transition. As of 2022, about 72% of Russia's electricity capacity still came from fossil fuels, while only 19% came from renewables. And most of that was traditional hydropower. Wind and solar together made up barely 2%. This shows that Russia's energy system remains overwhelmingly carbon intensive. That said, Russia is beginning to recognize the strategic value of green technologies, especially in global markets. One of the biggest opportunities is critical minerals. Businesses Insider reports that Russia plans to capture about 10% of the global lithium market by 2030, and it has partnered with Chinese companies like MCC International to start developing large lithium deposits. This signals that even if Russia is slow on the wind and solar, it wants a role in supplying minerals essential for batteries and electric vehicles. Human capital is another emerging factor. A 2023 study by Kuzmin and colleagues showed that Russia is increasing investment in skilled labor for green energy, research, and development. Still, progress remains slow, especially compared to Europe and China, which are rapidly scaling clean technologies. This is the reference sheet.
Russia is making a strategic pivot to the east. This is not a temporary move, but a long-term plan. It is driven by changes in the European energy policy. China has become the main partner here. Japan and South Korea also remain important markets. The success of this strategy depends on the development of the Russian Far East and the creation of strong alliances in Asia. At the same time, the oil and gas industry is actively digitalizing. Companies are implementing advanced technologies. These include digital twins for field modeling. Big data and artificial intelligence are also being used for information analysis. Robotics are helping to automate processes, especially in the complex regions. Successful projects such as Cognitive Geologist and Capitan are already helping to reduce costs and improve production efficiency. The Arctic is important for Russia. It produces approximately 70% of the country's gas and 20% of its oil. This region holds the largest reserves for the future. The Northern Sea Road plays a key role. Shipping volumes along it are growing rapidly. By 2024, they exceeded 80 million tons. The main categories are liquefied natural gas, oil, and coal. For foreign companies, this road not only opens access to resources, but also new transportation options between Europe and Asia. However, Arctic development faces challenges. This includes a lack of infrastructure, dependence on technology, and high environmental risks. It is precisely these challenges that create opportunities for foreign investors. Participations in joint projects and technology supply provide entry into one of the world's most promising energy regions.